Courtney and welcome to Gamer Creations Camp. Today we will be using Game Fruit to create our own online game. In your crate you will find these items. First we're going to begin by doing the brain busters, and there are solutions in your crate as well. Then next, these are the instructions we will use to create our game on Game Fruit. Get your brain ready to problem solve by completing your brain buster included in your crate.
Once you have completed your brain teaser and you're ready to problem solve through making this computer game, we can go to https://make.gamefruit.com/ and once you get to the website, you can click on the green Start Making, and then start our platform game. And then once your screen displays the game, we can click through the step 1 tutorial and step 2 tutorial after you have read them. And then we are going to tutorials in the top left hand side, and then select starter project over here on the right hand side. And for this activity we are going to do Squid Adventure. And then let's go and agree. All the instructions that we will need for this game will appear over here on the right hand side. That way we know what to do and we can follow these steps through making our game. In step 1, they're wanting us to click on play and try clicking on the start button. And it looks like nothing happens, and that's because we need to code it to start when we click on the start button, so that's what we will be doing in step 2. To move on to the next step, you can either click on the next circle or click on next step in the bottom right hand corner. In step 2, we are going to code the game to start when we click on the start button. To do that, we are going to right click on the squid, edit script, and then on the left hand side we are going to go to events and find the one that says when the stage is pressed and drag it into our workspace. And we also need under events the one that says broadcast message, and drag that into when stage is pressed. Click on message and type start in all lowercase. And after we have that done, we can click on play and see if it starts when we click on the start button. Clicking on the start button, as you can see, now our game will start. You can close out of the game, and to get back to our normal screen, you can click on the purple X by play. And now we can move on to step 3. In step 3, we will be making the squid move in our game by using the keypad. We can do that by right-clicking on the squid, edit script, and now we are going to go to events again and find when backspace delete is pressed and drag it into our workspace. And then we are going to find under events broadcast message and fit that in there, and then we're going to click on message and type in move. Once you have typed in move, we also need to change backspace delete to up arrow. And now our squid will move forward when we press the up arrow. And next we are going to go to events and add the left arrow and right arrow commands. So find when backspace delete is pressed and drag it into our workspace again. And events broadcast message. And this time we are coding the left arrow and we need to make it change to turn left. And you will do the same thing for the right arrow. So backspace when backspace delete is pressed and broadcast message. And since we're doing the right arrow and turn right. Once you have done both of these, we also need to go into events and find when created. And then go to sensing and find add tag name on myself. Match it in there, and instead of tag name, we're going to change that to player. Now we can click on play and our squid should move using our arrow keys. So now I am pressing my up arrow, my left arrow, and now my right arrow, and you can see that he moves. So we did step number 3 correctly. In step 4, we're going to turn objects into collectibles. We're going to start by using the tool in the bottom left-hand corner, and we can scroll through our game screen. And first we are going to right-click on one of the clusters of starfish and edit script. And then we're going to go to physics and find when I get touched, get touchier, and add it into our game screen. And then control flow and find the if do and snap it into there. And then under sensing, find myself has tag name and put it on the top by the if. And then variables and instance toucher, and put that into where the myself tag was, and then we can delete the myself. And then we're going to change tag name to player. On the bottom half by do, we are going to go to control flow and find destroy myself and snap that into the bottom half. And then we can click on play and see our squid eat the starfish. And the starfish should disappear once the squid eats them. So as you can see, my starfish are disappearing as the squid touches them. Go ahead and close and move on to step 5. In step 5, we're going to add danger to the game. So if we keep scrolling through our game screen, you will find a giant squid. And so right click on him, edit script, and then go to physics and find when I am touched, get toucher. Drag it into our game screen and then control flow, if do, sensing, myself has tag name, and then variables and instance toucher to replace myself, and then change tag name to player. And delete myself. And then by do, we are going to go to events and find broadcast message. And the message is going to be you were eaten. Now we can play the game and see if when we run into the squid, we die. So right now I'm using my arrow keys as we have programmed earlier, and I can eat the starfish like we commanded him, and going up to find the giant squid. I should disappear if I run into him. So here you can see that I'm going to run into him and the game is over. So we can close, we did that correctly, and move on to step 6. In step 6, you get to decide for the rest of the objects in the program if we are going to eat them as the squid or get eaten by the squid if we run into them. So to do that, you are going to use the tool in the left-hand corner to scroll through the game screen, and we already programmed the starfish, so you will have to program these green fish with the teeth, the crabs, the whale, and the bigger whale up top. So keep scrolling through the whole game screen, and there are a couple other things that you can program as well, like the octopus. As a refresh, to eat the objects, you will right click, edit script, go to physics, and when I get touchier, and control flow if do, sensing myself has tag name, and variables, instance toucher goes into myself, and control flow destroy myself. And don't forget to delete this myself here and change tag name to player. Again, this is how you want to structure objects that you want to eat. For objects that eat you, right click, edit script. We will go to physics and find when I am touched, get toucher. Then control flow if do, sensing myself has tag name, variables, instance toucher instead of myself, delete myself, and then by do, you're going to go to events and broadcast message. And change message to you were eaten, and make sure you change tag name to player. And again, this is how you format objects that you will die when you touch them. They are eating you. So go ahead and do the rest of the objects in the game and then move on to step 7. In step 7, we are going to create a score system So all of those that you programmed for the squid to eat will have to be changed this way. So go to one of the objects that you programmed for the squid to eat, edit, then we're going to go to events and broadcast message, and we're going to clip this right in between the instance toucher hashtag player and right before destroy myself, and change message to score. And again, you have to do this to all of the objects that you programmed for the squid to eat. After you have changed the programming of all the objects that the squid can eat to say score, next we need to change the squid's programming. To do that, we are going to edit script, go to events, and find when created. And drag that into our workspace, and then into variables, and find set true false I2, and then go to draw and create new text field with text. And snap that underneath. And then in set true false I, click on the I and select new variable. You're going to change the I to score and click for type number and OK. Next we need to go to operations and find 0 and put that on the end of the green set number score 2. And then we are going to next go to operations, create text with, and then variables and number score, and then to draw and find set font color of instant text field to red. And then snap them together underneath of this one, so set font color goes underneath, and then create text with is going to go on the end right here to replace that option, and then number score is going to go here, and make sure you change the red to yellow. To be able to see the score on our screen, we're going to go to events and click on constantly, transform, and set X position of myself to 0. Variables, instant text field, and looks camera X. And snap them together, and this is going to replace myself. Make sure to delete myself, and then camera X is going to replace 0. So to delete this as well. And then we're going to go back in to transform and find set X position of myself to 0, and variables, instant text field to replace myself, and then looks, you're going to find camera X, delete these two, and change now this bottom one to say set Y position of instant text field to camera Y. And lastly, we're going to make sure the score updates on our Prey. So we're going to go to Events and find when I receive my message. And then variables, set number score to. Operators, the plus sign. And variables, number score. And operators 0. We will snap it together and make number score the first one, and then leave the plus sign and put the 0 in this spot. Snap that into the set number score 2, and then change message to say score and the 0 to say 1. And then add a few more blocks. We're going to go to draw and set text of instant text field 2, operators, and create text with, and variables number score. We're going to attach this to the bottom of when I receive score. Deleting any of those that we moved. And on the instruction sheet on the right hand side here, you can see a display of all the new ones that we just put in and what your screen should look like. So we have when stage is pressed, broadcast start, and then this is showing when created, add tag name player on myself, and then it has the up arrows. Mine are just in a little bit different order, but the ones that we just added are when set number score to 0, create field text field with text, create text with number score, and set font color of instant text field to yellow, and then constantly set X position of instant text field to camera X, and set Y position of instant text field to camera Y. And then lastly, when I receive score, set number score to number score plus 1, and then set text of instant text field to create text with number score. So you should be able to play and eat those objects, and your score should change. We will try that out to make sure that we did it correctly. And you can see the score in the top left hand corner. Now when I go to eat the objects that I programmed my squid to eat, my score goes up as I eat each object. So it is working correctly. You can move on to step 8. Step 8 is showing you how to publish and share your game. There are options to publish and share your games once you have signed in and created an account. If you create an account, there are also other tutorial games that you can play and other game kits that you can follow along with.
Thanks for creating a game with me. I hope you had fun.